Let's queer up education. New College of Florida is under federal civil rights investigation after DeSantis takeover. The U.S. Department of Education has launched an investigation into New College of Florida's trustees and administration following a civil rights complaint filed on August 22nd. The DOE's Office of Civil Rights said it plans to investigate New College in Sarasota based on disability discrimination to determine whether it excluded qualified persons with disabilities from participation in, denied them the benefits of, or otherwise subjected them to discrimination in its programs, activities, aids, benefits, or services. The federal agency also plans to investigate whether New College failed to ensure that its communications with individuals with disabilities were as effective as its communications with others. The civil rights complaint filed against New College's leadership also alleges an ongoing trend of discrimination against protected groups such as LGBTQ+ students and the creation of a hostile work environment toward those students. It requested that federal agencies launch a formal investigation into the college's leadership and compel action to remedy damages the complaint claims leaders have caused. New College has been undergoing a conservative transformation since January, when Governor Ron DeSantis appointed a new majority of its Board of Trustees tasked with shaping the small liberal arts school into the, quote, Hillsdale College of the South, end quote. We remind you that Hillsdale College is a private, conservative, Christian liberal arts school in Michigan. The story is very sad to me, and it's been all year long. I grew up in the shadow of New College in Sarasota. My current home is on the north wall of New College in Sarasota. New College was consistently ranked by USA Today, which is among the best ranks of colleges and high schools in America. New College was consistently, as a public institution, rated one of the top colleges for value for money, being a public institution in America. And we are watching a wholesale destruction of the college. It was a small liberal arts program of 800 students in a pass-fail environment. It was the joke of hippie land for decades when it was formed in 1960. But the genius of the school, being right on the bayfront in Sarasota, is these super bright kids would come with super incredible professors teaching in an environment that excelled in so many ways, until it faces the lion against diversity and inclusion, which is our current governor. And as a result, he's made all of these dramatic changes. He has replaced the president of the college, and a lion's share of the percentage of professors have now resigned from the school. It is on track for self-destruction.
He's going to make it into one of that church that he wants from Michigan. He's going to make it into that exact church down here. You know that DeSantis is not going to finish until anybody with any kind of pigment on them is out of the state, right? And anybody who is LGBTQ plus, doesn't go anywhere near a school like this. So someone had to file a claim, right, for this to happen.
That's right.
And so someone could literally said, okay, I'm not being treated just. I'm not given the same opportunities as somebody else. And so now they're going to do the investigation into it.
Yes.
Will anything come out of this?
Maybe.
That means no. That means no, Al.
Right now, I think chances are probably very good that the governor is going to win this fight. But there is growing momentum of the outcome, and we also have to balance this and remember that the presidential election will have dramatic effects in this instance, because if Donald Trump becomes president, lots of things will happen. If Joe Biden is reelected, the Department of Education and federal monies, etc., become very, very growing difficulty for the state of Florida, because the state of Florida can rule itself like a little land and the king in Tallahassee. But if Joe Biden holds on to the presidency and the Department of Education, for example, the Department of Justice in the different divisions of this discrimination lawsuit claim, the federal government has obviously a lot of power. And so that will check state power in many instances. So the answer is maybe.
Doesn't he have anything else to do with his time than to target this wonderfully individual gem of a college and make it into like a sanctuary of misery? You know, like, aren't there other things
Of misery.
that he can be thinking
That's the
about?
new name
You know,
of them, I think.
that I'm just constantly asking myself why. But I guess hopefully one day we'll get to that.
You know, not to be too tongue-in-cheek, you ask a question that I think really is a great question, and the real answer is the one ray of light in this story. The answer to your question is, doesn't he have anything better to do? Well, shortly, he won't have anything better to do, because the one good thing that's going on here, and my reference to Faye's observation about what would happen next year with the presidential election, he has not been able to export this hate mongering that we've seen in Florida outside of the state. He has no traction on this kind of personality of hate that he is trying to export in Iowa, like over the weekend. And in fact, he's doing much worse today than he was 3 months ago, and much worse than 3 months before that. He's not resonating in the rest of the country. That's the one good thing in this story, is DeSantis is not able to export this out of Florida. So the answer to your question is, does he have anything better to do? No, shortly he won't. He'll be back here in Florida, and that's all he has. That's all he does, is meddle in places like New College.
But we're still here in Florida. We're going to be here. Go, Jacob, take us away.
We are Queer News Tonight, the world's first and only live daily LGBTQ+ evening news show, brought to you from Happening Out Television Network. We operate in the same model of PBS and NPR, but for the LGBTQ+ community. We educate, inform, and entertain by supporting the 10 pillars of our LGBTQ+ community, with more than 100,000 a week watching us on Roku, Apple Television, and other channels. To keep the story going, we accept donations with 100% transparency. Stay updated and live authentically with Queer News Tonight.